As you know, people, we're going to have a little chat today. It's been a little over a month, almost a month and a half since I got diagnosed with ADHD hyperactive. And I said I would share sort of my journey as a person who waited, into their mid 50s to get diagnosed and like how that affects me as a creator. Because I feel like there are a lot of creators out there and not just creators in general, but people in general that are from my generation that are walking around undiagnosed. And I feel a lot of them would have some of the same thoughts that I had. Like, dude, I made it this far. I don't really need the diagnosis. I have my coping mechanisms, the coping mechanisms I work with. Now, if you asked me a year ago, I wouldn't have said I had ADHD. I would have said that I share traits with people that come on the internet and tell you about what their ADHD manifests as. And to some extent, something that we OGs tend to do that we probably should stop is we would say, oh, well, the new ones are soft, or the new ones, they just don't know how to handle it. So like I too get comedic value out of those we're Gen X and we're better memes, but realize that some of the things that we just masked, I'm gonna use that word a lot today, or we covered up was actually trauma. And they're funny, but it's not funny. They're funny because it's real. It's not funny because it's comical, but some of the stuff that we went through that the kids nowadays don't go through or don't have to go through or have figured out through their collective conversations because they have the internet and they share everything, they figured out there's a better way or a different way. I won't say it's better. So all of this babbling means that, first of all, like I said in my first video, if you think that you're on the spectrum or you have ADHD, doesn't matter if you're over 50, over 60, whatever, it's still worth getting tested. And I'll tell you why. What has happened now that I know what's going on is at least enlightened me to where I'm going. You know how much better GPS was than maps? We had maps. Remember the Rand McNally, the big ass book, or the AAA, unfold it, unfold it, unfold it, unfold it, and then try to put that bitch back together, and it's puffy after that. But when you knew where you were going with the AAA map, it's not the same as knowing where you're going with the GPS. And all of the above is better than that thing when your dad used to just drive around and miss the turns and talk about, I know where I'm going, and you know good and damn well he lost. Having the diagnosis has done two things for me. It has helped me realize the things that I legit had wrong. So for instance, you know me, I started this whole journey of 300 plus videos in a row, or it's basically going to end up being 420 videos in a row of saying like, there's no such thing as creator burnout. But it turns out that there's definitely something that is ADHD burnout. There's definitely a clinical definition of burnout. And maybe some of those creators who were saying that they have burnout are actually on the ADHD burnout thing, and they might be undiagnosed. There's also some, burnout that could come with some autistic people. Turns out autism is a spectrum, regardless of what one half of the country would tell you. And there are some perfectly functioning people who are on the spectrum and you wouldn't know, right? It turns out this is way more complicated than we know. And walking around undiagnosed had me passing judgment on folks for some of the stuff that I myself do and didn't even realize it because I didn't know I had full blown hyperactive ADHD. And now that I know that, and I'm starting to work through systems and do the therapy thing, I'm also starting to recognize the stuff that I did to mask it and how some of that masking came from my upbringing. Some of that masking comes from doing the stuff I thought I was supposed to do because society told me I'm supposed to do it that way. And the bummer is I also now even realize some of the people that I either pushed away or straight up hurt from me masking and coping as opposed to dealing with situations head on. And how that affects you as a creator, right? I don't want to make this about non-creative stuff because, well, I'm a creator, is when you get your head around some of the stuff that we do as quote unquote perfectionists, some of that stuff we do in hyper focusing on certain things, some of that stuff we do by presenting a particular way are all parts of a normal ADHD person, ADD person, or AU ADHD person, aka person that has both autism and ADHD. And I feel like even if you get checked and you don't have it, going through the therapy alone might help you unlock some of the things that have you stuck. It's really interesting. So today I'm hanging out, talking with my team. We got to go to dinner. I got an opportunity to talk to some other creators that I, know and love. And we had like long, deep conversations about different various portions of our lives. And one thing that I will definitely say, one of the best parts about being a creator is getting to connect with other people, which is why I say if you're holding onto some information that you have and you have content that you're being pushed to put out there from your own self, not from the outside world, but you have this desire to get the content out, but you're holding it back based on your perfection, is kind of a dick move because I realize now in something I've always said, but I realize it more having conversations with people who are also creators. There's something about that human connection, that sharing, that community that we vibe in, that when we get together and we get to talk and we get to listen to each other, man, it's an awesome time. It's an absolute awesome time. And I wish more people had the courage to talk to other people instead of living in their world, living in their bubble, spreading the hate and lies that they're told by other people because they think that's what they're supposed to do. Having the courage and sit down and listen to someone else tell their story is marvelous. And so something that we talked about in our conversation, of course, I say this on the channel all the time, is having this like constant curiosity is kind of a superpower. I love the fact that I have this constant curiosity. I used to get beat for my curiosity, like legit beat, belt or paddle. You ask too many questions. Why must everything be why with you? None of your business. The adults are talking. Like I legit caught the belt or the paddle because I had questions. And that could have squelched my curiosity. Luckily, being an ADHD person, when I get hyper focused, I need to know answers. I can't do open loops. I have to solve problems. So I didn't get deterred by the ass whoopings. So there's that. Stay curious, people. Curiosity is a dope situation. And I want you, if you stayed this long, I want you to take away something. I've said on this channel before, in order to be interesting, you have to be interested. But I'm going to take that one step further. There are basically two types of people in this world. Well, in this case, people, when you listen to them talk, you find them absolutely interesting. And then there's people, when you're done talking to them, they make you feel interesting. You kind of want to be the number two. If you can talk to other people and make them feel interesting, you definitely will make the world a better place. Because when you walk away from somebody like that, it makes you feel good. It gives you a sense of pride, a sense of being, a sense of belonging. It makes you feel human. So I'm going to continue with my ADHD journey. And yes, once in a while, I'm going to make one of these videos where I share what's going on in my head. I've learned so much about myself in the last month and a half. I've learned, not even half, a month and a couple of days. I've learned so much about you guys as I go through this process. And many of you have reached out and said either A, you're funny, dude. We always knew. I'll take that. Some of you have reached out and says, hey, I recently got diagnosed and I'm going through this process too. Or I'm going through this process and maybe we could work together so you can help me stay on my content creation train because you seem to get that part figured out already. I have. I figured it out, how to be an ADHD creator without even knowing I figured it out because the coping mechanisms were working. I used to hate having gone through some of the stuff I went through as a kid. I always knew it made me stronger, but I didn't know until recently those are my coping mechanisms to walk around well over 50 years with undiagnosed ADHD. Now I'm medicated, living a better life, and this massive train of discovery. It's like almost being reborn. That sounds corny, but it is. Like I'm in a whole curiosity mode right now. So you know what I say when I make one of these videos? I don't know if you hear this. Probably like 5 of you guys will watch this, but if you made it this far, let me know in the comment section below. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, curious, or looking for other people to talk to, let us know in the comment section below. This is an opportunity to get human connection, and too many of people are afraid to ask for it. Ask for it. Don't wait till it's too late. Yeah. Right about now, the algorithm's going to share another video they think you should watch, and I agree with them.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet, maneuver in silence to let them